In this video, we are discussing about different models of atom. First one is Thomson's plum pudding model and its limitations. Second one is Rutherford's nuclear model of atom and its limitations. And last one is Bohr's atomic model and its limitations. J.J. Thomson proposed the plum pudding model of atom. He also called it as raisin pudding or watermelon model. Why is it called a pudding model or watermelon model? Consider a pudding or watermelon with some plums or seeds on it. It is a particular arrangement. He considered atom just like that. According to his model, he proposed that an atom possesses a spherical shape of approximately 10 raised to minus 10 meter. And it is a sphere of positive charge with some electrons embedded in it. That is, there is a sphere of positive charge and there is electrons. So there will be positive and negative charges, and that there will be electrostatic arrangement, as well as it explains the electrical neutrality of the atom. That is, there is positive and negative charges and there will be a neutrality. That is, overall neutrality of the atom can be explained by his model. It also explains, or its main postulate is that mass of the atom is uniformly distributed over the atom. That means the mass of the atom is uniformly distributed over the atom. We know that proton is a positively charged particle and electron is a negatively charged particle. That means this is a sphere of positively charged particle and there will be electrons embedded over it. This model is Thomson's model of atom. Model was proposed in 1898 and of course it have limitations. Here we are discussing four main limitations of plum pudding model. First one is, it does not give any details about atomic nucleus. Now we know the structure of atom. It consists of a nucleus with electrons around it in particular orbit. But this was not explained by Thomson's model. It could not even explain the basic structure of an atom. So it is the main drawback of his theory. And next is, he failed to explain the stability of the atom. He could explain the electrical neutrality. There is a positive and negative charges and there is an electrostatic arrangement, and these things were explained by his model, but he failed to explain the stability of the atom. He could not even explain the scattering of alpha particle. That is the main study which led to a lot of progress in chemistry. So he could not explain the scattering of alpha particle, and the experiment was later conducted by Rutherford. This model even could not explain the origin of spectral series of atoms. So these are the main limitations of plum pudding model. Rutherford conducted an experiment to study the structure of atom. It is known as Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. Rutherford and his scientists bombarded very thin gold foil with alpha particle. Alpha particle is a positively charged particle, and it was passed through lead plate, and it was used to bombard the gold foil. And the result was quite surprising. Most of the alpha particle passed through the gold foil, left undeflected. That is, there was no deflection. That is, it passed through the foil without deflection, which indicates that most of the region of the atom is empty, and small fraction was deflected by small angle. That is, this alpha particle is a positively charged particle. So it got repelled by positively charged part of the atom, and it got deflected. And very few particles were deflected by nearly 180 degree, which indicates that it directly hit at the positively charged particle and got deflected. And there is a very few particle, which indicates that there is positively charged is a dense part, and it is located at a very small region of the atom. This experiment was quite surprising for the scientists. Observations from the alpha ray scattering experiment could explain Thomson's model is not the correct model of atom. According to Thomson's model, the mass of the atom is distributed uniformly. But here, from the experiment, it could say that most of the alpha particles went undeflected, and many of them got deflected at smaller angle, and very few deflected nearly 180 degree. So it could explain that there is size of nucleus is very small compared to the atom. And most of the mass of atom and the positive charge is concentrated in extremely small region called nucleus. That's why it got reflected nearly 180 degree. And electrons move around the nucleus with high speed in circular path called orbits. Here listen, the electrons move around the nucleus with high speed in the circular path called orbits. Electrons and nucleus are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. These informations were obtained from the alpha ray scattering experiment done by Rutherford and his students. Main limitation of Rutherford model of atom is that it could not explain the electromagnetic theory. That is, when a particle revolves around its oppositely charged particle, it loses its acceleration gradually and finally it falls back to the center. But here in this case, it do not happen. That is, the electrons revolve around the nucleus continuously, but it do not fall to the center. That is, he could not explain why this is happening, why this falling is not happening. And he did not explain the distribution of electrons in an atom. He could not explain, that means how and which way the electrons were distributed in the atom. And he could not even explain the origin of spectrum. These are the main limitations of Rutherford's model of atom. Bohr's model of atom mainly explains about the energy of the electron and how it changes. It says that the energy of the electron remains constant in a particular orbit. As long as the electron stays in that orbit, its energy will be constant. Its energy changes abruptly only when it jumps from one energy level to another. That is, if it is moving from the higher energy level to lower energy level, it emits a particular amount of energy, and when it moves from the lower energy level to higher energy level, it absorbs a particular amount of energy. What is this particular amount of energy? That is, the energy is absorbed or emitted discontinuously in the form of tiny bundles called quanta. Each quantum is associated with a definite amount of energy, and it is represented by E is equal to h nu, where h is the Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of radiation. And it can only emit or absorb energy in whole number multiples of quantum. That means when an electron moves from the lower energy level to higher energy level, it can absorb energy level equal to 1 h nu, 2 h nu, 3 h nu, and this is known as the quantization of energy. And the electrons obey this rule. And also, the angular momentum of the electron moving around the nucleus is quantized. That is equal to mvr, where m is the mass, v is the linear velocity, and r is the radius of the orbit. Thus, we can say that the angular momentum of the electron may be simply h by 2 pi or the whole number multiples of it, like that h by 2 pi, 2h by 2 pi, 3h by 2 pi, etc. And it is known as quantization of angular momentum. There are some limitations for this model too. It could explain the spectrum of atom hydrogen, but it could not explain the spectrum of atom having more than one electron. And it failed to explain the relative intensities of the spectral line. The intensities of the spectral lines were not investigated and explained by this model. Failed to explain the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of magnetic field, which is called Zeeman effect, and it also failed to explain the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of electric field, that is Stark effect.